It's another fun conversation
On the couch.
on the couch today. It is, I'm not on the field. I'm not in any chicken house because normally
Yeah.
I take it on the chicken house on the field. But today we're sitting on the couch comfortably. We can introduce ourselves. I don't like introducing guests.
Okay, I'm Andria Timana. I am 28 years old. I know people don't usually dis- display their age, especially as a female.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm currently just running a small broiler production, which we're doing about 2,800 broilers. It's not that big. We do
Wow.
2 cycles, half of each. Actually, not, because one coop has about takes 800, and then the other one it's 1,000, so basically three. Yeah. So
3,000.
no, 2.8.
2.8,
One
2.8.
takes 800,
Okay.
and two take 1,000.
Oh, okay.
So that's how we have it broken down, and then we have a hatchery. Where we're producing at least 3 to 4,000 chicks a week. That's basically what we were kind of doing.
Because I'm actually interested in the hatchery part. I've been getting a lot of questions from people asking me why am I not actually hatching my own
Day old.
day old, and I'll tell them that it's a business on its own.
It
To run a
is.
hatchery, it's another business. To raise chicken and resell them, it's another business. So with hatching, how many incubators do you have?
I have 3, and each has a capacity of 6,331, 36. Yeah, each. So bringing it to plus minus 19,000 to 20,000 capacity.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's a lot. And like, have you ever actually when you incubate, you have 3, right?
Yes.
So when you place eggs inside the incubator, do you do them like doing your chicken houses, where maybe you say this
This
week,
week, yes.
and then after 4 weeks you're gonna place another batch, after 4 weeks you're gonna place another batch,
No,
so that every month you can have chickens? Or with eggs, it's a different
With the hatchery, I basically place chicks every week.
every
Eggs
week.
every week.
Every week.
So we usually get our eggs on a Monday. So we incubate every Monday.
How long does it take for eggs to incubate?
21 days.
21 days.
But I'd like to push it to 22, because they are sometimes late bloomers. So you basically open your incubators on day 21. So basically the process is from day 1 to 18. We call it the setting stage, where you have the eggs in holding trays, and then once they are ready to hatch from day 19 to 21, we call that the lockdown days, where you remove them from the holding basket and you put them into the hatching baskets, where they stay there for 3 days, and you do not open your incubator in those 3 days, no matter what happens. And I know a lot of women. I remember on my first hatching, when I started in Fort Flores in 2022. I was sleeping because the incubators were right next to my room. We had an open hall, like a dining kind of area that wasn't working. So I had my first incubators there, and my room was like next to it. And I'm sleeping at night, and I'm hearing a sound, and I'm like, am I dreaming? And then I woke up, I went and I checked, I took my torch, and you could literally see, I actually managed to see a chick actually coming out of a shell for the first time.
Wow.
It was such an amazing moment. And you're like, do I open it? Will it die? Will it? So you kind of get that thing when you're starting. But as time goes, you get used to it. And it's the most rewarding and fulfilling feeling to see newborn chicks every week. It never gets old. And just to see how active they are from the moment they hatch, like, it's beautiful. It's like they're packing the moment they hatch. It's looking for what to pack.
So when after now they've hatched, and you take them out of the incubator, do you vaccinate them?
Yes, you have to. So basically, there's a process we do where you grade them first. You individually look at each chick.
Okay.
To see, because sometimes you do have chicks that are born with twisted beaks, deformed legs. So you need to check if this chick is good or not to sell to the customer. Also, the weight of the chicken, you do need to have at least 48 grams chick, to be able to sell, to give good weight for meat. So you do have to go through all those processes. And vaccinating, usually we do with the Newcastle and infectious bronchitis on day 1, where we use the spray method.
Oh, so that's why we find them having some bluish or greenish color on
The
them.
blue is literally just food coloring.
Oh, is it?
Yes, it's not the vaccine. It's just to tell customers that we vaccinated.
Oh, so
Yes.
when they spray them, it's just to notify you that actually these
Yes.
are being vaccinated.
Yes.
So if you find your chicks not having that, sometimes
Not
it means
necessarily. Not necessarily. I mean, the farmer could have vaccinated, but didn't use, because with bigger hatcheries, they might not use the spray method. They might actually use the injection method, where they spray, where they inject the chick. I don't know. I'll share with you a video where it's like, I think they do it to the eye, or they just inject the chick naturally, like one at a time.
Oh, that's how they vaccinate them.
Yes,
Okay.
probably they could have used that method as well.
Okay.
But for us, small scale, with, I think, even the big guys, I think Rainbow, they do that as well, the spray method, because
They use
you
the spray
find some
method.
blue on their cheeks. So I think blue is just food coloring
Yeah.
that we use to mark. And also it helps us see once they dry up. If a chick doesn't have blue, you like, oh, maybe it was under other chicks, so it didn't get vaccinated. So you might just have to do it again on a few. So that's why it's very important when vaccinating, to move them around.
So in terms of sourcing the eggs, how difficult is that? Because I've been telling people that I not want to incubate my own chicks, because
oh my god.
if I can get poor quality eggs from a big hatchery, not eggs, chicks. When I buy my day old chicks, sometimes I do get bad quality, and when you find that they do come from big hatcheries, just that I cannot name hatcheries, because now I'll be ruining other people's business too. But if I can get that,
But that's the thing. That's the thing. I'm sorry to cut you. You see how you're saying you can't name them because you can't ruin their business. But if it was a small farm, you would be very quick to go to
No.
social media and no, not necessarily you.
I don't want to be sued though.
I understand that. I understand that. But this is the mindset where, I know we're getting a bit off track here, but this is the mindset I think that we need to address as well when it comes to small scale farmers.
Yeah.
That if you got bad chicks once from a farmer, don't be too quick to penalize that farmer. Because even with the big guys, they're still giving us bad quality of chicks and bad quality of eggs, but we still go back to them. So we need to give each other as many chances until we get it right.
That's true.
So going back to the fertile egg thing, 2022, when I started and I stopped.
Also, you started in 2022.
Yes.
Okay.
So basically this is what happened. I graduated, not graduated, I couldn't graduate. I was studying mechanical engineering. Then 2018, I had a car hijacking where I got shot.
Oh, that's bad.
Yes. So basically then when I was supposed to do my practicals, remember before you do it, you have to go run medicals. They need to do a full body examination because you're working with heavy industrial machines. So I used to get failed due to right hand function because I got shot on my hand.
Oh.
Yeah, this is a bullet. Yeah, so
How does it feel to be shot?
I don't know. You don't feel it until you lay down. I didn't feel it until I got to hospital.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but
I'm sorry, though.
moving past that, then I remember I was working in the Val for a company called ENA in partnership with VIC, and I remember my boss sometimes would get his invoices paid late, and our salaries would come in late, and I was so angry. And it was around time to go home, visit my family in Mozambique, and because my mom is from there. So I'm like sitting, I don't remember if there were eggs in the office.
Yeah.
But I saw eggs in the corner, and I googled how are eggs manufactured, and it has been that ever since. That was 2020 August. No.
Oh, so
20,
actually, you
2019.
joined farming because of the curiosity that you had.
Yes. So 2019, not 2020 August, I remember. Because then the following year in March, I registered my business without even having done anything.
About
And
farming.
funny enough, that by the time I saw that box of eggs, I already had my business name. I already had, like, I didn't know what I was gonna do, but I didn't want any other kind of farming. It was like sort of a calling that just like a light bulb, this is what you have to do. So then I started doing research, and then because I had no farm or no place to work, there was nobody who in my family who has a farm or anybody who has done farming ever.
So you're the first generation farmer.
Yes.
Most of us are.
So then I went to Buhle in 2021 around September. I did my training there. It's a 3-month training, practical training. And when I came out of the training, I started reselling people's chickens. I started reselling people's chickens throughout that late 2021, mid 2022. I got my first incubator, which was 1,000 capacity.
How much did you get it for?
I don't remember, but it wasn't that expensive. I think I bought it for 12 or 15,000 because the lady who was selling it was desperate to sell.
Oh, so you did the second-hand one?
Yes, it was not a brand new.
Okay. Anyway, speaking of the incubators, do we have quality incubators as well and bad incubators?
Yes, we're getting there.
Okay.
So I got that first incubator, so I don't lose track. I forget a lot.
Okay.
Yeah. Because we're on fertile eggs, and we are now on where I started. So I just want to fast track that. Then I moved from, I had 1,000 capacity, 1,500 capacity actually. Then I added 2 of those from reselling people's chickens. So I was buying chickens and reselling them.
So with the profit you'll buy incubator?
Yes, that's how I did. And it was not profit from hatching. So it was profit from reselling people's broiler chickens and eggs as well. So then that same year I went to do a training in Porsche where I met a couple of guys. Actually, no, these guys I had met before because I did a couple of businesses before. I used to have a pop-up restaurant. So when I had that pop-up, the guys then called me like, no, there's a training in Porsche, come join us for farm management. So then I went to Porsche. So when we were there, we briefed ideas, and I told them that no, I've got incubators that are sitting doing nothing, and they were like, oh no, I have a venue for where we can work together. So we decided to work together. The partnership didn't go well because people claim they want to do farming, but when they get to it, it's like it's a different story. It sounds fancy when you're doing bookkeeping, but when you
have to do the actual
work, it's not as pretty.
Yeah.
So that's how the partnership didn't work, and also load shedding was bad. It didn't make sense to run a hatchery with load shedding issues.
Oh, is that during that time when load shedding? Now we're having stage 9, stage 8. Because I saw a lot of people that around that time were selling their incubators.
Yes, so that it was around that time where we were having that, so it didn't make business sense to run it, so we stopped. And then the following year we got another farm in Glen Austin where we were now hatching indigenous chickens. And the incubators are still there running, the indigenous chickens.
Okay.
Then with the profits from the indigenous are perfect. Like, you get 90% hatching rate sometimes,
Which breed were you?
Mix. I had a mix. It was a mix of different chickens. Whatever decides to mate that day, and you get the eggs.
So how do you get the eggs for indigenous chickens?
From the chickens we had in the group, but the first 2 batches we got, there was a place in Midrand that sells them. So we used to buy fertile eggs from there and incubate, but it was perfect. It was perfect. I think that is the only time I've enjoyed hatching, where you would get so many chicks hatching at once.
Yeah, they're strong, those ones.
Yeah, and I've never gotten the same results from doing broilers in the hatchery industry.
Yeah.
So then we moved from there. Then we found this farm on rental as well. So that's how we moved here. We actually came to visit it once through an uncle of mine, and I saw the warehouse that's full of clutter. I'm like, this is gold mine.
This is where I want
This
to
is where I
mine.
want to mine. And then the owner allowed us to actually rent and start working here. I had to clear out everything, basically build from scratch.
Okay.
So in terms of my experience, ever since I've been here and I've settled in this place, of getting fertile eggs, there are good and bad days. There are days where you can get a good 80% hatching rate, sometimes 75. 75 is like the constant, maybe.
Yeah.
But
What's the lowest rate you ever got?
I had 1,800 eggs and I only got 50 chicks.
Ooh, how much did you buy each egg?
The box at that time, I was buying it at 1,500 rand a box of 360. So that's not been all. I mean, there was a time I had 4,000 as well. I only got 200 chicks.
And how bad or good the chicks were? Like the one that they hatched.
They honestly grow because we end up growing them for ourselves, but the uniformity is very visible that they are different weights. They don't have a uniform weight.
Yeah.
So
you find them some looking like layers, and then some you can see that no, this is a broiler.
and you're like, this thing has been eating my money.
And they'll be jumping around the chicken house. They have energy for days.
And like I tell you, and you look at it and you're like, dude, you're eating my money every day and you're not growing.
To the
Why?
standard that I want.
I think we are passionate farmers.
Yeah.
We don't want to kill them.
Actually, right now, as you speak, I have chickens that are not doing well. Like, they're bad.
I also have broilers that I slaughtered yesterday and today that were supposed to be delivered to a customer. They're 5 weeks 6 weeks, and they look like they're 4-week-olds. They look like baby chickens. I had to call the customer and be like, yo, my girl, this week we're not. And thank God there was a customer who wanted it portioned. So I did explain to them and they're okay with it. So it's just one of those. We face challenges every day, and I think those are questions we need to ask ourselves, like, as small scale farmers or people that are in the industry, how can we share information with upcoming farmers for them not to experience exactly the hurdles and the challenges that we are, so it's easier for them and they don't have to lose as much as we've lost to get to where they want to go.
So in terms of incubating, does the incubator need to run
24/7?
So there's actually a temperature you need to keep inside the incubator, and
36.5 temperature, and then humidity 55 to 60 on the first 18 days. Then from 18 to 21, depending on the size of your incubator. On mine, I push it up a bit to 65, 70.
So
because they're quite big.
So as the days
increases humidity.
Do you increase the temperature?
Humidity only. The temperature remains constant.
Okay.
Yes, because the higher the humidity, the softer the shell becomes, and the lower the humidity, the longer it takes for chicks to hatch. So that's why even when you're candling on day 10 to 18, when you're checking whether the egg is fertile or not, you need to work as quick as you can.
Wait, you can't check before you put them in incubate?
No, even if you check, you won't really see. It's very difficult to tell.
Also, there's days where you need to check now. Yes. On which day now?
Day 10 and 18, that's what I do.
Okay, that's when you check.
Yes, but some do 14 and some 7.
So how do you now see if this is fertile or this is not?
If it's fertile, there will be a dark spot and veins around the egg.
Okay.
And then if it's not, it will just be clear like a light bulb.
So what do you do now with those?
those that are not fertile, you take them out and you can't eat them. You can't do anything.
You can't eat them?
No.
Why?
They've been in the machine for how many days? They're rotten.
Oh,
and
yeah.
with fertile eggs, they rot quicker
Than
than
the table one.
the table eggs.
Oh, okay.
Because remember, with the table eggs, there's no semen, so the egg was not penetrated.
Yeah.
So it lasts longer than the yes. That is why most commercial farmers don't have roosters in their farms. It's only hens.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I guess when you put them inside the incubator, you put them in something like a tray that carries eggs.
Yes.
And then there's a process where I think they swim.
Yes,
or they
turning.
what?
You have to turn at least 3 to 5 times a day. That's the minimum, but best 5 times a day.
Then there's a process where you have to take them from those.
Yes.
And you put them in those.
Yes, that's what I said in the beginning. That it's the lockdown stage
Yeah.
from day 18 to 21. So basically, you remove. I usually do it late in the night when it's dark, because it's easier to candle. Because if it's bright, you can't really see through the egg, because you're using a light to
check if it's
yes.
fertile. Also,
so it needs
during the
to be in
process
a
where you check
dark
the fertile
room.
and non-fertile one is when you actually also
Lock.
check. Oh, okay.
Yes, but on day 10, you do it just to remove those that are not fertile, because they can get rotten and explode in the machine and infect the whole process.
Yeah. So now they are hatching. Then how long do you keep them in? Probably they're not going to hatch at the same time.
Yes.
So and then how many days do you need to say, okay, now they've
From
all
day
hatched?
19. So the moment, isn't it you put them on day 18, right? So day 19, so maybe let's say from 20 to 21, they're hatching.
So you're gonna take them out as soon as they are all done hatching.
Yes. And sometimes you don't even know if they're all hatching, but the sound of the chicks will increase as they hatch. So then as you get into it and you do it for years, you know we good to go.
How long does a chick actually survive without feed and water?
The longest I've experienced is 4 days.
4 days.
Yeah.
Wow.
But actually, it can stay up to 7 because remember they still have the yolk in them.
Okay.
From hatching.
Yeah.
So the reason why I leave my chicks up to 22 days, like I said earlier, is that I allow, before selling it to customers, I don't sell it at 21 exactly, I sell it at 22. Because I want them to absorb all the yolk in their system first before moving them into solids. So it's like the milk, for those who farm animals like cows, goats and stuff. After a mother gives birth, the baby needs that first milk from the mom, even a normal child.
I forgot. They say there's something that usually comes from the milk, the breast milk.
Yes. So that is what happens to the chick. Because usually, if you don't do that, at 4 or 5 weeks they start dying. Sometimes you might think it's your problem as a farmer, but then
this is
it
interesting.
could also
now.
be the hatchery.
So now let's say I buy chicks from the hatchery. I don't know how long they've been, so I can actually put them in my chicken house for maybe a day before I can start to give them feed.
You can not a day. Remember, they would have moved from that warm environment where they are, because remember, when they're with us, they are within the warm environment, which is the incubator and straight into the brooding room.
Okay.
But sometimes with that, remember that when they hatch from us, they started hatching on day 20. So 21. So if you take it and leave it for a little bit longer, you are. So when you get it from us, that's why it's called 1 day old. So it means it hatched yesterday, which was day 0.
Okay.
Then you count the following day. Yes.
So because you are hatching yourself and then you put them inside the brooder straight away, I wanna check now. Have you ever bought chicks from somewhere before? And when you incubate yourself and you buy chicks from someone,
this example with the chickens now.
How's the mortality rate there?
Mortality rate, I think with that, it's very risky to say that mortality rate is dependent on us, Because remember, with me, if I hatch myself, even those that are sick, I put them there.
Yeah.
So my mortality might be a little bit higher than if I buy.
Oh,
Because
okay.
chicks that I wouldn't sell to a customer, I will try and salvage
And raise them.
and raise them.
Ah, so the mortality with you is always a little bit higher than.
Yes, than
Okay.
what it would be buying. But with that being said as well, with the quality of the ones I've hatched for myself and the ones I bought, because I haven't been able to incubate for 2 weeks now, because my supplier, the big guy, doesn't have eggs to sell to us. So I had to outsource chicks from them. And what I would normally slaughter at 6 weeks, this time disappointed me.
Oh.
So I'm having chickens that are 6 weeks old, but they look like they are 4. They are like baby chickens.
Oh. So when you can't find eggs, you buy the old chicks.
I have to keep an income coming in.
Yeah.
So
You have a rent to pay.
rent and workers. I'm fortunate that I don't have like serious loans. The only thing is business. But you've got people that you have to pay salaries. You have to eat as well. So those are the kind of things that. But I wanted to actually ask. This is one thing that I think frustrates me the most, is that why is it that we as farmers can't like necessarily unite and work together? Because if you look at most of these big entities, it's never one entity for themselves. And we often have this thing where if you are a small scale farmer, people don't want to respect you or treat you like a serious business. I face that a lot. I wanted to ask you that you order chicks from other people.
Yeah.
Do you do full payments or deposits for your chicks?
I do full payment.
Exactly. So why wouldn't you want to pay full when it comes to us?
Honestly, I'll be honest. I never bought chicks from any
small farmer.
Incubator. Like anyone who's hatching at a small rate. I never bought chicks from them. I always buy chicks from the big guys. But I do get people approaching me, say, "Yo, man, please buy our chicks."
And why aren't you supporting them?
Mostly it's because of the distance they are from me. And sometimes you find that the price that they're giving me, it's a little bit higher than where I normally get the chicks. And that's and sometimes they'll say, "Okay, Sharp, we'll give you at the price that you're getting from
the big retailer."
But you'll still find that, but they are a little bit higher. So I'm still going to spend much money on petrol to get those. So that has been my problem. But I wouldn't mind actually getting chicks from anyone, as long as they are in the right location for me. Because remember, I'm also looking at the business side of myself. Okay, I need to save money here and here and here and here. So that's the thing. But I don't have a problem with buying eggs from anyone. Chicks from anyone. If there is someone actually hatching in my area, I will buy from them. But no, they have to be reliable. Another thing.
And to be reliable, tshwanetse support until they get there. That's how the Jews are still rich.
But here's the thing, right? Remember, I'm running a business. You are incubating now. You get 20% hatching, and then you call me. You say, "Oh man, I can't give you chicks." So you see now, I'm gonna suffer on my side too as well.
You're gonna delay your cycle.
I'm gonna delay my cycle. My customers knows when my chickens are gonna be ready. Now I have to postpone and say, "Hey, I'm not gonna be having chickens around this time," because when I put my chickens inside my chicken house, there's a specific week that I know this is the week that I'm gonna start brooding my chickens. If I miss that week, I'm not putting chickens because I'm targeting the month end market, because that's when I know when the market closes and when the
When
market,
market
opens.
opens.
So I cannot be having chickens ready when the market is about to close. So it means that I'm gonna now need to feed this chicken until the market opens again.
Okay.
Yeah, not that I'm not gonna be selling in the middle. I will sell, but I'll be selling at the slower rate now. So you find one person coming to buy one chicken,
And you end up feeding them so much
so
more than they should
yeah,
be.
that's the thing. So that's why with me, I haven't actually worked with any small hatcheries.
But that is the gap. That is the gap. That is what we need to find solutions to, because that is also been one of my biggest challenges or my
Yeah.
biggest fears, that I don't ever want to incubate. Or with incubation, it's really not an issue because it's an every week thing. But then ever since I started raising broilers, this is like my third cycle this side. So with that, I'm also like, you saw the chickens that just sold out now when you got here.
Yeah.
You know, I placed them on that day because I knew that by this time I should have.
Because there was one guy who approached me saying that he's starting his own hatchery, and then I asked him when are the chicks gonna be ready, and he gave me a date. I'm saying, but I wanna support you, but the problem is it's your dating. That's why and he was telling me that no, I'm getting good quality eggs on this time, so that's why I'm placing them on this time. But I'm saying maybe that's where we're gonna actually have a problem now, because probably around the time where we want good quality eggs from the hatchery, they're prioritizing the bigger hatcheries. And now because those bigger hatcheries now they've relaxed, that's when they will give you good quality. But it's gonna affect my side when I need to place the chicks in now. So I normally place in mid-month, around 15, that week of 15 to until the 22. That's when I place.
So that's what I'm also gonna do with these ones, because you see, I just removed those ones. I usually let the place rest for a week or two.
Okay.
Then I place. So that's why I'm saying, with me as well, it's a every 3 weeks thing that I place.
Yeah.
So every mid-month I'm placing. So I sold this week, which is week of month end. Next week I'm not placing. The other week I'm not placing.
You want to
place around the 12, 15 there. So by the time month end comes, I have chicks.
You have chicks
So you see, this month end I have
the other ones at the side.
This ones and the other ones. So consider that I have that.
So I want to ask about the incubators, because I know people have prices. How much is each incubator?
Mine each, I have 3. Each I paid 87.
And what was the capacity on each? 6,000. It's 87,000. Ooh, hey.
They're quite pricey, and mine are actually quite the cheaper range, because they are brands that are so much more expensive. You've got like Shore Hatch, the brand. I think one of the ladies you did a video with, Nana, she's got I think I saw most of her machines are from there. Those are
good quality. So there is quality in incubators?
Of course. In everything, there's best quality and poorest quality. But what I'm saying...
Do you still get the same result, though?
You do. You do.
Okay. Because I can still drive 1400 and you drive M3, and we can still get to Cape Town together. Just that we're going to get at different times.
Yes. But sometimes with what's happening right now in South Africa when it comes to getting fertile eggs, sometimes it's not even the machine.
It's the eggs.
Yes. It's the eggs.
So same way we are getting poor
chicks.
You guys in the incubating side, the hatching side, you are getting poor.
Because you have this thing where people, so when they grade the eggs, you have what you call the standard grade, what they are happy with, which is the weight that will give you a 48-gram chick. They keep that for themselves. So there is the overgrade and the undergrade. So sometimes we get eggs that are undergrades that are very small, which is from parent stock that just started laying. and the eggs are still small. It's the same thing with layers, normal layers.
Yeah,
When they
yeah.
start
Such they
laying,
lay
the eggs
small
are
one.
very small.
And
And
then
as
they
the
will
older
add
they get, they have
medium
their
and then,
peak season
yeah.
where they give you the good eggs. So it's the same thing. So eggs that to them are not great. Sometimes they'll say it's A grade. You're getting a 70% or 80% hatching
So
rate.
they will give you large and they take extra large.
Not they don't need extra large. They need the medium.
Oh, the medium
So they
one.
will give us the large and the extra large double yolks, and sometimes you don't even need to incubate those because it won't give you chicks. And smaller eggs as well will give you small chicks that chances of them growing to good quality chicken or giving you the right exact weight is very slim.
So the right egg is the medium size.
Yeah, I think so. I'm just forgetting the exact. I don't want to say things on camera that will come back to haunt me. But there's specific gram. I'm just forgetting. I remember as we keep talking.
Are we planning to get our own parent stock?
One day, let's. With getting our own parent stock, that was the main reason I actually started this whole project.
Yeah.
The main reason for Andria being in this whole space was wanting to deal with the inconsistency of supply of day-old chicks. I feel like if I'm producing 5,000 good quality day-old chicks a week, I'm helping that small number of farmers to get their business to be consistent and sustainable, then I am growing as well. There's a saying that says you are just as successful as the number of lives you've changed. So that has always been my motto as well, that I want to grow, but I don't want to grow alone.
You want to bring others with you.
Yes, because if I have that legacy, even if I die, my business will still be
successful.
Yes, because
there
are people that are reliant
on
it. And that is, I think, where a lot of people, when they get into the business of poultry, they all want to do meat, all want to do layers, and they don't realize that there is such a huge gap in it. With eggshells, people that are running hatcheries, yes, it's bad to have one farm transporting eggs or shells from one farm to another, the biosecurity and contamination. But what happens if we can find a way to really wash and disinfect those shells, crush them up, and sell it as premix for people who are doing their own feed, because the eggshell has calcium for feed. And with people who do layers, a lot of people you ask them, what do you do with your cracked eggs? I give them to my workers, but you can crack those eggs up, sell them in liters to us who are bakers, because I bake as well. Sell them to us in liters, and we happily buy those eggs for our baked goods, because we bake with measurements. So
so we're just gonna measure how many grams of eggs you want.
Yes, or how many milliliters of the eggs I want. So there is not only one market or narrow, and people often say, look, I sell chickens very well at church, and they think they are farmers. No, you might be good at selling,
but not
farming. So your job is to come and buy from me, that I'm the primary, and you go and sell.
And resell. That's why they are resellers, and then they're
growers. And I might be bad at sales, but I'm very good at growing. So those are the things that we often overlook, and we want to do what everybody else is doing. And so the reason I then decided that, I don't want broilers. Even raising the broilers I'm raising now, I'm just doing it for cash flow, because I'm struggling to get reliable egg supplies, because the big brand that was offering me is currently not selling eggs.
So your main focus is actually hatching?
Yes, that's my core business.
So what will you say, let's say, how much does it actually cost to hatch one chick?
But if I say that, I can't charge what I'm charging. If I say that,
No,
people.
but you're in business, so you have to put up your
I
markups.
know, but at the moment, to hatch a chick, we are looking at 6 rand, 6 rand 20.
Okay, not
That's
bad.
my
Yeah.
cost.
Oh, okay.
That's my cost.
But even if you're gonna charge 12 rand extra, it's 6 rand extra, it's still fine. Like,
That's what I charge.
Yeah, no,
I
it's
sell
still
a box
fine.
at 1,200 a box, and every Thursday we
Yeah,
have
because
chicks.
remember,
We just haven't had this
because
past 2
remember when
weeks.
you buy your eggs, you still have bed eggs inside.
Oh,
But it's not like you're gonna get
It's-
refund on it.
you don't.
You see?
You don't.
So,
You don't.
okay.
So that's why we put that in. Not considering the fact that you have to keep up with the maintenance because we are off grid.
Yeah.
We are not using Escom at all.
Okay. You're using solar.
Yes, we've got quite a good solar system in place, and we do have a 40 kVA generator that we use as backup just in case on bad weather days where during the day the solars can't charge. The batteries enough.
So let's say now it happens that I have my own incubator. Electricity goes off. I don't have backup. How long can I survive?
Sure. I'd say 2 hours.
Max.
That's the safest. Like, I mean, that is the riskiest. I mean, like I told you once, I had 17 hours of no power, and
No, that's too. 17 is too much.
I had. So basically, according to theory and books, we are not
Yeah.
supposed to have them out or without the proper temperature for more than 30 minutes. So just imagine no power for 2 hours. What
It's
are
a
you
lot.
doing?
It's
So that sometimes it might not even damage or kill the chicks, but it delays the hatching process.
Okay.
So even in winter, the hatching process sometimes is slower because the temperatures at night get really cold, and if your room where your machines are, that affects also the temperature inside the machine.
This is interesting.
That is why even in my hatching room, because I have IBR sheets on the sides and the roof,
Yeah.
we have installed aircons, and we are busy installing a ceiling now.
Oh,
So
that
when
you
it's
can
hot,
the temperature cannot be too much.
because when it's hot, what happens? It gets too hot, the humidity drops, and because the temperature is too high.
No, it's another business to run.
It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. I remember in October as well when we did our first hatching in this farm. The solar, we had no generator yet then. The only thing we had was solar, and it was raining. Then Escom as well, power off. So the batteries finished power. I can't change from grid to Escom because Escom is also off, and I have no generator. But thank God I had some money. I had to rush to builders to get a generator.
Wow.
So it's sometimes at night you have to just wake up and go check if the temperature didn't drop too much, especially with all those cold fronts.
So it
happening.
doesn't want too much heat.
It doesn't want too much cold. It wants a constant temperature. Like any other animal, like with your broilers
like
as well.
even our broilers.
Because
last year we had a heat wave. Yeah, it was bad.
And
I remember using a hose pipe to actually pour water onto the roof so
I
that
had
it can
2
actually
fans.
drop the temperature.
Yeah, I had 2 fans, literally one blowing that way, and so like they would literally interchange like that.
Yeah,
I had 2 fans. I remember because I also had broilers towards. Yeah, I almost died.
Last year with the
No,
heat wave.
January.
Uh-huh.
No, January. Not even because of that. I almost died because I hired the wrong person. He drank, and he literally got drunk and slept on top of chickens in the chicken coop. And,
How do you drink? You get it.
and funny enough, he drank one day before his day off, so he was going home anyway the following day. I think my mistake was paying him before he leaves. I should have paid him when he was leaving.
Yeah, like here's your money, you can go.
Yeah,
So you got drunk while at work.
and slept in the chicken coop. Those are some of the challenges we face.
No, no, this is a new one. So now we're sleeping in the chicken coop.
And funny enough, you didn't feel chickens packing on you or anything like that.
Wow.
So yeah,
Maybe that's why I don't drink alcohol.
leave it for us. And I
No.
wanted to ask, as a grower, what do you do with your dead chickens?
I throw them away. Sometimes I compose them.
Have you thought of having a business of selling to people that breed dogs?
There are some who normally come and say,
buy.
If you have a dead chicken, can you give it to me? Those who have dogs. And then they will just,
You just give it to them.
just give it to them. But I'll normally compose them or throw them away.
Oh.
Because I can still compose them and plant.
But that is another thing we actually had. I attended a workshop on Wednesday where they were talking about that composing of chickens and the chicken manure. That we should actually leave that 3 months in the sun and turn it daily, because what happens, they were talking about food security, where you have people coming to buy manure from us that we didn't process, we didn't let dry, and they use in their crops immediately. And remember that your chickens have coccidiosis, have all the sicknesses that you're constantly giving them antibiotics. It might be gone from their meat, but it goes throughout their feces. So that is still in the feces. So if you do not leave it in the sun to dry, when you put it in your garden, it gets transferred to the vegetables that we are consuming.
Because with me, because they can actually, if you put them in the garden when they are still strong, they can actually burn the plants. But with me, I normally leave them for like 6 months before I can actually put them.
So they were actually talking about that. And for me, because I used to give it away for free. And after I learned about that, I saw a business opportunity.
No, I sell. I actually sell the chicken menu.
But how much a bag?
There's an old man who do livestock, but with him he gives him the livestock. Okay, you can still give him the livestock.
I heard that as well.
He takes a bag for 20 rand.
Oh, that's nice, because I heard of it as well.
So I take that 20 rand. I go buy
shavings.
Wood shaving, because I get wood shaving for 10 rand.
Can you please help me? We get it at 38 rand a bag.
But I get this straight from the suppliers. So where they make doors, where they make furniture, that's where actually the wood shaving comes from. So that's where I actually go and buy my wood shaving.
I think I need to find that. I wonder if there's
in
Pretoria.
Probably there are plenty of places in Pretoria. But I know that in Mpumalanga and Limpopo, we have a lot of timber farms. So that's why it's easy for us to
exactly. So that's what I'm thinking as well. Because with us here...
Because you saying you're buying it for 35 rand. You know people in Limpopo, they pay a bag for like 60 rand.
60?
Yeah. For wood shaving.
60
rand for wood shaving. Like I normally get a lot of calls because I'm one person who doesn't mind sharing information.
Exactly, I don't understand gatekeeping as well.
Even when I go buy my wood shaving, I'll literally do a video, like the whole trip of me going there and showing you where I'm getting this thing, how much am I getting this thing. So those who watch my videos, they normally know where I'm getting wood shaving for and how much am I getting wood shaving for.
And that's the thing, we think that I have a lady in the Eastern Cape and another boy in Limpopo as well that I was mentoring. I remember the husband is the one that contacted me. He's like, hi, because when I was selling my smaller incubators to upgrade. So the husband saw my ad and then he called and is like, oh, my wife has the same machines and she needs help, When the wife contacted me, I bombarded her with information. Because with me, what I do is that I write my own manuals as well based on my experience.
Yeah. That's something I'm actually doing now. I'm busy writing a manual.
Oh, that is perfect.
But I'm going to sell it.
I'm going to sell mine as well. But
because with me, I've done videos of showing people how I raise my chicken from day one until I sell. And people still call me and say, man, please help us. I'm saying, like, the information is there on YouTube. Just watch my videos. You'll be fine. But they still want my time. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to start to charge you now.
Exactly. So going back to that, is that people. So the lady, I've mentored her, and she's doing quite well as well in the Eastern Cape. So when I tell people that, I lost train of thought. So when I tell people that this industry is big, there is space for all of us.
Yeah.
So there's no reason to gatekeep any information.
You can't though. Unless
You can't.
unless you're just lazy to find the info. You are just lazy. Because there are people who are naturally lazy to
Exactly.
go out and find the information.
I had a lady call me once and ask me, so when I want to start, who gives me money? Do I go to government or do I and I'm like, then another one came and asked me, how much would it cost me to build a chicken coop? I'm like, I don't know what size you want. I don't know how you want to start.
The material that
The
you want to
material
use.
and your area. Because, I mean, with poultry farming, it's not the same for anyone.
No, it's not.
We could all be in Pretoria, but just
Yeah.
because you're in Pretoria East and I'm in the North, our prices could differ.
Yeah.
You know, with poultry is different. There's no one price fits all. Your price must fit
Because
you.
even with the feed, there's still different prices of all over.
True. Like with us here, there's a guy where I discovered now where I'm buying from, where I'm buying a bag at 422, while the other place where I was buying before is 445. But
Joseph.
it's literally just 2 streets
And you probably
away from
you
each
probably
other.
find even they are still the same brand.
Same brand. It's Nova, both same brand.
Yeah, plus it's popular in Pretoria, no. But
Yeah, the factory is just here at the back.
yeah.
It's
No,
just
I
at the
think
back.
we can wrap it up now.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was nice chatting with you.
likewise.
From myself, Makwala, I'm saying thanks, guys, for the support. Remember, subscribe, share, comment, and like. Where they can
Please
follow
do.
you on social media?
Yes. My handle on Facebook it's Ant Farm Enterprise, and my Instagram it's Ant Farm Enterprise as well _ everything, and then my personal page it's Andria Timana. On Facebook, I don't have one on Instagram and TikTok as well. I also post videos like you sometimes,
Yeah.
explaining whatever bits I can.
Yeah.
So it's Andria Timana as well. I still need to develop business pages.
You heard it, guys.
Yeah.
Go check it out.